Aloha Firelight family. My name is Joshua Hathaway. We are the Human Thriving Project, which is an organization devoted to divine mischief, to sharing holistic practices within the field of the gift economy. And I want to jump on here and share a song which comes at the end, and a little bit about why I'm sharing this song with you. Because the Human Thriving Project, we have a dream of living in a culture of peace, deep, abiding peace, harmony, and plenty for all. Everything that we really truly need to thrive together in unity and in sovereignty. This exquisite dance of unity and sovereignty. This is the culture that I dream to one day take for granted. To walk in decades deep, feeling the deep peace in my belly. And because I understand that the only way this culture is going to come about in my life is if I embody it. I get to live every day inside of that culture, which is a dramatically different culture than the one that I encounter every day. And so my inner culture and the agreements I have with myself and with the divine, with my beautiful Mama Gaia, the agreements I have with the people who I most intimately navigate life with, they're a little different than our unconscious standard cultural agreements. And one of the most revolutionary agreements that I have with myself and with life is that I am devoted to feeling my feelings all the way through to completion. I'm devoted to noticing what I'm feeling when I'm feeling it and honoring the feeling with my movement and with my breath, with the sound of my voice, with my tears, with my stomping or grunting or quavering, with my laughter. Whatever feeling shows up in my universe, I feel it. That's my devotional practice. And I exist imperfectly as the embodiment of that practice, fully expressed. Not at anyone in particular, just authentically allowing the inner truth of my being to be expressed as authentic and unscripted movement, sound, and breath. And I'm always learning more about how to communicate my feelings with others with a sense of candor and curiosity. a sense of personal responsibility for my own feelings, and an inquiry into the nature of what's come up in between us and what it might be like on the other side for this other person. In this way, I find that my feelings are incredible teachers and guides. And the more uncomfortable the feeling that I have, the richer that experience gets to be of both feeling my feelings all the way through. Maybe being witnessed by another person, or often just in the privacy of my home. But wherever I am, to the degree that I can. But what I've found in my life is that I have many times in my life before, and I witness this pretty commonly, that the culture at large, it pressures us to hide the way we feel from one another. It demands of us an incongruence with ourselves. It has bred into us a fear of candor and directness and authenticity. And it has not equipped us with the models and the behavior patterns which healthily express and communicate authentic emotional truth and that desire. So we're left to cobble together our own culture around this. And so what I found, though, is that most of us were trained to express our feelings about someone in the form of a projection, a judgment of their personhood or their character. And we may express it that way to the person themselves, but most often we express it about them when they're not there. I think we all know the phenomenon well. And as someone who tends to make some waves in the world, as a being with a wake, I find it fascinating the things that come back to me about me. And I want to acknowledge that there are things that go around about me. And I am an open book to anyone who would like to be curious with me about what you may have heard. I may or may not have the resources to go into depth about any of it in that moment, but I will absolutely respond to genuine curiosity about any aspect of my life, with a willingness to sit down with you in the right timing of things, maybe right then and there, and commit to one another to listen carefully for understanding. First me listening deeply to you and reflecting everything that I'm hearing you share with me for understanding. And my commitment is then to take personal accountability for anything that you've pointed to that I can see was missing the mark of my highest standards for my own personal conduct. Radical personal accountability is my thing. And then, in the healthiest version of that conversation, then I get a chance to sit in the seat of the one sharing their insides. And I get to be carefully listened to and reflected back for a sense of mutual understanding. So simple, right? Just two people hearing each other about their experience and reflecting back what their understanding it was like for them. Yeah, just a little bit of a repairing of reality. Now maybe both of us sees the world a little more completely because we've gotten to see it through somebody else's eyes. Yeah. So this is a long-winded way of saying that I welcome anyone's curiosity in this community. I am committed to living in a culture that's reconciled within and without and between and amongst all of the beings, including our brothers and sisters, the standing tree people, including the winged ones, including the creepy crawlies and the fish of the sea. One great community that is reconciled together in peace and living in harmony. I know that this is possible in our lifetimes. I am not the least bit uncertain about this. I have no idea how we're gonna get there. I got a playbook, I got some plans, I got things that I'm here to contribute to. But what I know is that all of us gotta do it together. It ain't getting done. So, if you've ever felt a certain way about me or notice in the moment that you have a feeling, an ouch feeling, you would honor me by sharing your feeling with me. And I promise you can trust me to hold my seat and listen carefully and reflect back for you what I'm hearing. That's my promise. Because that's my commitment in life that I live every day, all day. Easy. And what I would really love is to live in a conscious community of beings who all are willing to feel our feelings. To just feel our feelings as they arise and express them. That we live in a space of radical permission to be emotional animals. And to express our emotions without having to know why they're there or who they're about. That we celebrate as a community whatever form of emotion emerges as emotion. Because I believe that when we're capable of all feeling our feelings, then we won't suppress them, causing damage to our bodies and chronic issues. And we won't project them violently out onto somebody else and blame them and kick the can of conflict down the road. I believe that feeling our feelings is a key to harmony, and I want to be in harmony with you, my friend. I want to experiment with you into a culture of joy, into a culture of deep emotional authenticity, safe from unconscious projections and encouraging of the unraveling of our suppression. Just like that. A regulated community, breathing deeply together. A patient community, a saucy, sexy community that can express sexual feelings as feelings rather than as unconscious agendas and patterns of violation. I want to live in a community that holds consent at the very center of our values. Deep and radical personal self-responsibility and the unwillingness to dishonor another. Care about conscious consent. Collectively consenting into an agreement field more exquisite, more refined than the constructs of the dominant paradigm. Being really clear about them together And the more of us that are chosen in to such a experimental field of personal conduct and collective accountability, we get to do our own research and experience the consequences of our own inner choice to live in such a way together. And it doesn't require anybody else to live in that way. We could be a community of 5, 10. But what I know to be true is that the more of us that opt in and hold with courage and commitment to a higher standard of personal conduct with our words, with our thoughts, with our feelings, with our movement. The more of us that sing that song together, oh, the richer it gets. And I believe we have a really precious opportunity to check it out. And I wanted to tell you that I have a few free offerings every week on the calendar that you can Zoom into, or you can come right here into my living room and join me for practice in person. But these are holistic resourcing practices. They're revolutionary trauma healing modalities, cultivating a coherent physical, emotional, and mental body, and regulating the nervous system, repatterning the breath patterns and physicality. That's Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, 7:30 to 8:45. Regenerative somatics, somato-shamanic practice. Stronger body, stronger heart, stronger mind, aligned spirit. And on Wednesdays, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we have our Conscious Leadership Dojo, the holistic embodied leadership dojo, where you can be held in this field of agreements together, articulated beautifully by the authors of the 15 Commitments of Conscious Leaders. Great book. It's not a Bible, but it's a great distillation of a lot of really important principles about culture and conduct and commitment, and how to behave consciously instead of unconsciously in our lives as leaders. And so we practice these principles, we nurture ourselves with some movement, with connection, with learning, and with practicing the art of reconciliation, the art of setting and upholding healthy boundaries for yourself and for others, the art of learning to say no and learning how to say yes from a deep inner authenticity that never lies, and how to repair when we've oopsed, when there's an ouch, ouch, and then there's a oops, 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 and then we can connect and repair. So simple and so easy when we practice. So I want to invite y'all in. This is part of my dharma. This is just what I do. I share this because I love it, because it's my practice space. I'm not there to teach necessarily. I'm here with you to practice these arts, these emerging, beautiful practices together that fill the body with mana and vigor and peace. Strengthen us to bring the greatest of our love to our lives every day. And help us to substantively address the conflicts in our lives that are emerging as teachers and are also when left unattended, creating karmic drag, right? So in the name of all of us living in that culture, I want to share this song with you about feeling our feelings. Let's just feel our feelings and not mistake our feelings for some rightness about another person and their intentions or character. Let's feel together. I'm here to feel with you. I am not ashamed of my shame. I am not afraid of my fear. I am not angry at my rage, and I won't hide these tears. I am not ashamed of my shame. I am not afraid of my fear. I am not angry at my rage, and I won't hide these tears. 'Cause everything I feel, everything I feel, everything I feel is welcome here. Everything I feel, everything I feel, everything I feel is welcome here. And I want you to know, I am not ashamed of your shame. I am not afraid of your fear. I am not angry at your rage. And please don't hide those tears. I am not ashamed of your shame. I am not afraid of your fear. I am not angry at your rage, and please don't hide those tears. 'Cause everything you feel, everything you feel, everything you feel is welcome here. Everything you feel, everything you feel, everything you feel is welcome here. Can you imagine a world where we just felt what we felt and didn't ascribe any kind of meaning to it, didn't project it out, didn't suppress it, just felt and moved and let it be? I believe we can achieve peace this way, actual, lasting harmony. When we are not ashamed of our shame, we are not afraid of our fear, not at all. We are not angry at our rage, and we won't hide these tears. Nah, we are not ashamed of our shame. We are not afraid of our fears. We are not angry at our rage, and we won't hide these tears. 'Cause everything we feel, everything we feel, everything we feel is welcome here. Everything we feel, everything we feel, everything we feel is welcome here. Yeah, everything we feel. And if we were sitting around the fire, at Firelight on Sunday night, sipping on some beautiful kava kava together, talking story and singing songs. We would just drop into this we would drop into this song and we would sing, we are not ashamed of our shame. We are not afraid of our fear. We are not angry at our rage, and we will not hide our tears. Because everything we feel is welcome. It's welcome here. Yeah. We just drop into that mantra, fam. We just feel it and dance it and move it and breathe it and laugh it and cry it and sing it and stomp it and whatever we do. So that's a little introduction to the way that I like to share music as medicine. I wanted to plant this seed in your heart. I'm just planting a little seed in your heart of the culture that I'd like to cultivate, that we can start cultivating together 3 times a week. If you're down, start building that manna, because the more of us that build together, the more coherent it'll be. And I, for one, would love to find out just what we can accomplish in true coherence together, in the spirit of aloha, of love. Aloha, great love, ohana. My name is Joshua Hathaway. We are the Human Thriving Project, and I deeply look forward to getting to play with you very soon.